Hey, thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm Aidan Marcuss, and I work in our Windows engineering organization, leading our work with hardware and app partners, as well as thinking about our multi-year planning cycle. I've been in and around Windows for a long time, from when I remember saving up to buy Windows 95 on floppy disks to working with this team today. So I'm really humbled to be here today, leading a session focused on Windows with my co-panelists. Let's meet them in a second, but I have to say, I'm really excited to be able to do this safely in person. As my boss, Panos, would say, I'm pumped. So Gabe, do you want to kick off our introductions?
Sure, I'm Gabe Frost, and I look after the Windows updates, part of Windows, where we deploy to over 1 billion customers who connect into Windows Update. But also, most importantly, we take all of our learnings and all of the tech that we use to deploy to all of those and make them available to our IT pros so that they have full control over how updates flow to devices that they look after.
My name is Ramya Chitrakar. I'm the Director of Engineering for Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And like yourself, I've been around for some time in the enterprise management space since I joined Microsoft as a college hire, working on Config Manager and Intune. I'm really excited to be here. One of the most rewarding parts of my job has been enabling IT pros and end users who rely on us for their security and management solutions.
Dave Weston, better known as Dwizzle. I run the security team for Windows, as well as looking after enterprise. So as you can imagine, I have a pretty relaxed job, not much going on in security. It's very calm nowadays. So I'm actually excited to talk about what we're doing in security here.
Awesome. So in today's panel, we're going to focus on how your feedback inspires our innovations. So many of us are spending so much time with their PCs right now. I mean, I thought I did before, but I didn't realize how much more I could spend.
Yeah.
You know, from students who are learning remotely, to people like us working remotely, to just connecting with friends and family. You know, we're spending so much time with our devices. We've come a long way from floppy disks. You know, Windows is evolving rapidly at scale. You talked a little bit about types of, reach and customer impact you can have and all of us can have. And so from our insider preview builds to our semi-annual feature updates, our cadence is evolving to let us listen, innovate at the pace our customers need. And so it's a really cool opportunity to talk about that today. And together with our hardware and software partners, our aim is to empower every person to achieve more. And we rely on you, our IT pros and developers, to help make that goal a reality. We don't do this alone. We do this with each other, with our partners. That's kind of the magic in my mind of what we get to do together. For example, last September, we announced the test base for Microsoft 365 to enable you to validate your apps against pre-release builds of Windows, security and feature updates, and collaborate on joint deployment, validation, or remediation. Because it's that sort of partnership that lets us really build a whole product. And we're certainly not done. Your engagement and feedback continue to inform where we're headed with Windows. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. I think being in Windows, we're super privileged to work with an incredibly diverse set of individuals and organizations. So my question to start, what sort of touch points do you have with IT pros day to day? And what's the coolest thing you've done with them or done for them or over the past year? It's been an incredible year to be in this space. And so it's kind of a fun way to start talking about how we're working together. Ramya, do you want to start, maybe?
Yeah, certainly. And I feel really passionate about developers, our engineering teams working closely and having direct customer engagement. We spend most of our time building and deploying software, but it's these connections that really influence our day-to-day decisions, our investments, and more than anything, I think it helps us bring empathy to ourselves. And yes, it's been an incredible year, and it's really transformed the way we work and we operate. And it's actually a pattern across the industry. Every organization is looking to enable remote work, and IT pros are key to bring about this change and making sure their end users are productive. Let me talk about Endpoint Manager that we are investing to enable this digital transformation for our IT organizations. First up, IT pros are telling us this increasing segment of end users who are successful in their roles with email, a browser, and a few key apps. They don't need complex setup. They don't need a complex configuration. And that's where Windows 10 and cloud configuration comes in. We're very pleased to announce that at Ignite. And what it does is it enables and empowers IT Pro to transform new or even existing Windows devices so that they're cloud optimized and focused on end user productivity. These are recommended configurations that we provide so they're able to deploy them at scale and uniformly. And coming to end users, it simplifies their experience, their setup experience, because especially in remote work, they're able to get their devices shipped directly to themselves, to their homes, wherever they're working from. And they're walked through a seamless setup experience through Windows Autopilot, making it easy such that when they reach the desktop, they have all the applications and configurations they need all ready to go. And the data is available because of OneDrive. It's automatically configured and it gets backed up and available to them from anywhere.
You know, the empathy part that you mentioned, this is the thing I think we're all really taking in so much right now, right? Because all of a sudden, all the folks that are partners in IT look after, many of them went home. And so they have to think about how do they, you know, not only provide support, but provide solutions. And now more than ever, all of IT are being asked to do way more than they've ever done before, right? Everyone is being asked to do more, to take on more in a time. And so, you know, there's so many little things that can cause challenges. And so we've just been bringing a new kind of intensity to where can we take out just the little things that can cause hiccups so that they can focus on all those other important things that they're doing. You know, a few examples that we looked at are providing far more control over when updates can flow down, right? Because people need to be productive. You know, they're at home, they're managing their kids and their families and like everything that's going on at work at the same time. And so we're really focusing on the right time to do updates and to not be disruptive when someone's on a Teams call or when they're doing that. But even little things like the dependency chain, right? Like subtle little things like sometimes we have to update the stack that does updates, right? And so it used to be that you had to do that first and then go do the update. And if you didn't magically know to do that, the update wouldn't work. And now all of a sudden you're at square one again. And so we're removing those dependency chains so that there's just a single thing that you can go do, right? And so we're really just looking to how can we learn from our broad sort of population, but also we're reaching out. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm like on Twitter or other places looking for people going, how do I do this, right? Like where can we see, whether it's through office hours or customer connection programs, reaching out to customers directly just to really bring an intensity to helping make it simpler for them so that they can take on all of these new things they're being asked to do.
So Gabe, you're telling people they can at you and they will get a response. Is that,
I will.
That's the key message?
Bring it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's really important. I mean, in the security space, it's really dynamic. It changes day to day. So if I don't have a direct line to IT pros who can tell me, I'm seeing this new attack, the thing in Windows is not working, I need a change so I can get it out to Gabe, you know, it's really impossible for me to stay ahead of attackers. And so the defenders have to come together. They have to have a hotline. They have to have a community where that information can be exchanged. And I'm just another sort of node in that community. And so, yes, Twitter is like one of the main tools I have. My goal there is really to show Microsoft can be dynamic. Microsoft can be accessible, right? You can DM me directly with your problem, and chances are I'm going to put in an ADO, a developer's going to fix it, and Gabe's going to ship it to you in a very fast amount of time, really. A lot different than what people would perceive. And that sort of speed is actually one of the advantages we have over attackers. And so I think it was a great demonstration of this during sort of the initial work from home period. If you told IT pros at the beginning of 2020, we're going to take away all the tools you have on the network, everyone's going to sort of scatter across the nation and the globe, and everything's going to be fine, people would have laughed you out. And yet, as a community around Windows, both the folks inside of Microsoft and more importantly, the folks outside, it was largely uneventful. We did a pretty good job. You know, nothing burned down for the most part, and folks were able to make a smooth transition in an incredibly short period of time. And that's down to we built the right cloud controls. We've built a lot of security into the endpoints itself, into Windows, so that you don't need a bunch of additional tools. And we've had some innovations, things like Windows Defender Application Guard for Office. We stick Word and we stick PowerPoint into a container, meaning if you're getting a phishing mail, if you're getting an attack in the work from home period, you don't necessarily need network control. The device is protecting itself. So those innovations kind of added up to this largely became uneventful. And in security, having a non-event is sort of the gold standard. And so I think we largely achieve that, not just from Microsoft, but from the external folks that we partner with.
Yeah, it is kind of remarkable to think if you had asked all of our partners and IT pros, are you ready to do this at scale? Before this started, I think there's no way. Then just the amount of learning and iteration and action, it's really astonishing. I think it sort of leads to the next question. One of the other benefits I think we have of the various touch points we have with customers is that we're able to hear feedback about our products pretty quickly now, iterate it on pretty fast. I think we're pushing ourselves to be better at this. I think there's always an opportunity to learn and listen actively. I'd love to share maybe a little bit about how your teams listen to feedback day to day and some examples of where you've acted on it in the last couple months, last year. I don't know, Gabe, do you want to start?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the first thing that came to mind when you were, asking the question was, when I sit here and I look at Ramya and David, how much we work together and how there's this sort of multiplier effect to feedback, because there's the internal community and the things we all do together. And oftentimes someone will say something to the Intune team. We'll hear feedback from a customer. We'll hear something about this security issue end to end. How did we deal with it? And we all talk to each other. We all come together and that feedback flows through because we're thinking so much about usually these spot changes sometimes are really, really good, but oftentimes the thing that really has an impact is when we do it end to end, right? And we think about that. And so, a good example, recently was, we were doing a review about some of the work we were planning to do over the next semester. And David was in the room and mentioned that we have these security vulnerabilities or whatnot that go out in Patch Tuesday. How do we make sure that our IT pros who need to deploy those updates, how do they get them even faster? How, if they want to deploy it because they have a compliance requirement or something, how do they do that? Which led to work we announced on expediting updates, right? So that you can say, go now, I want to have, the majority of my estate patched within a couple of days. That's sort of one example. And so there's the community internally here at Microsoft where all of the feedback is flowing. And so there's that multiplier effect. So
yeah, whether, Surface, Windows, Endpoint Manager, Windows Update, there's a product I'd like to discuss a little bit because I think it demonstrates how we take in this feedback and then respond as one unit. Surface, as you know, builds everything that we build is by ourselves, right? All the way from the chip going to the cloud. And then it builds its own UFI, which you can think as an evolution of the BIOS. And with that, I think what it gives us, you talked about the emerging, security vulnerabilities and how quickly we have to respond to that. Integrating with Windows Update makes us easy to push any firmware updates through our channel to our customers to enhance their security. On similar lines, we have device firmware configuration, what we call as DFCI. Integrating with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, it is a cloud-based management solution for Surface devices firmware. So for instance, you can apply a policy to Surface devices to turn off their cameras, to disable their cameras, then it's not even visible to the operating system. Just imagine that level of security and peace of mind, really, to IT pros. Now, we have really strong partnership with our OEMs. And we are actively pushing to make this capability set available to a broader OEM ecosystem.
It's a great example of so many things. Yeah. But this idea of identifying a customer need, how do you super securely configure? I mean, I remember going into factories and the thing they would do is tape over the camera, tape over the. Yes. I think of Dave and be like, I don't think Dave thinks tape is good enough for security, but but it's a real.
It works.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Gabe, you make me think about this point where IT pros being our customers, but they have their customers who are end users, right? And they are serving them. And IT is in an incredibly tough spot sometimes because they have to strike this balance between the security and management needs of their organization and making sure their end users are productive. And then you layer in all the complexities coming in from remote work. With Endpoint Analytics and Endpoint Manager, we are enabling ITs to understand and improve their end user experiences. I'll talk about one such capability, which we call proactive remediations, which allows them to detect and address some very common help desk issues that come in from their end users. One large customer actually leveraged this feature around some common issues they have around their VPN. And then they actually noticed a reduction in their help desk call volume, despite the massive increase in the number of end users who are working remotely, due to the pandemic.
I could have really used this because in college, my job was to be the IT help desk.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I mostly troubleshooted dial-up connections where the PPP string was incorrect.
Yep.
So it's like light years ahead. It's kind of remarkable to think about.
For security, it's essentially impossible for us to build a secure Windows without IT pros. It moves so fast, and our IT pros often see it before Microsoft does, right? Just through nature. We see an attack here, they let me know, I immediately pass it on. It's a big global network of defenders. And so it's absolutely important for me that I try to create a one-to-one relationship with all of our customers. Now we have billion customers, so that's difficult. So I do use tools like Twitter, where I would challenge the audience, feel free to, I am accessible at all times. There's no AMA, I'm AMAing 24 hours a day. So if you have a question, send it to me. My team lives and breathes feedback. So it's, we're always gonna push the envelope security-wise, but we need to make it easy. We need to make it usable. We need to not break things. We need to keep the performance up. And so my team is used to seeing me, dozens of times a day send something through as a bug or as an email, and they are very great, not only about actioning on that and getting it to Gabe and other people who can get it out to users as fast as possible, but also coming back to that user and asking additional questions. Oh, hey, how's this other thing working for you? And kind of creating those relationships. And that's something that maybe Microsoft hasn't been known for historically, but I think those of us sitting here are really here to say, like, we are here to listen. This product is nothing without the users telling us how to improve it, and we need to do that across the board. And so a couple things that we've done is really the theme that I hear from IT pros is simplicity. I got a ton to do, and I'm supposed to be a security expert. Can you make this easy for me? Can you make it look like I did a bunch of things and it was really easy? So a couple things we've done there. First is, in this work from home environment, they lost a lot of tools, right? Traditionally, it's you sit in the building, therefore you can have access to things. That's how we did control. We built a wall. You can't do that when everyone sort of in a week's time sort of split apart. So we had to enable the tools that are in the device, Defender, information protection, Edge, application guard, make that all accessible through tools like Intune. And then we created conditional access policies. And it's a sort of a new paradigm called zero trust, where rather than saying you're trusted because you're in the building, you're trusted because we can look at the policy on the device and know it's got the right things in place. And conditional access allowed us to do that. So very simple things like you have to be up to date, you have to take all the latest patches, you have to have an information protection policy, and you have to be running a secure browser before you can go on the SharePoint and download the company's secret plans. We made that super simple, and I think the evidence of that is people migrated very quickly from the walled garden to people can work from anywhere. And so I think that's a great thing. Number two, they told us you have a lot of advanced security features. We need this. Attacks are growing at an incredible rate, sophistication, nation states. Give me that, but make it easy. I don't want to sit there for 6 months tuning it. So we launched an initiative called Secured Core PCs through the ecosystem with both silicon partners and OEMs. And we said, this is the best you can buy. It's pre-configured. And oh, by the way, the OEMs made sure that this thing is great, passes all the performance tests, and that's been going great. And so when you combine something like Zero Trust with a super hardened secured device, you're actually off to the races. In some cases, you're going to be a lot more secure than you were even on-prem. And now, you're having a drink from wherever you are, park, beach, anywhere. It's a great thing. And I think, if anything that sort of came out of this sort of, they say pressure builds diamonds, we've really built something that we can now continue even after the work from home period. So I'm excited about that. I think this is great.
What a great example of like the partnerships it takes to stitch together
Absolutely.
that end-to-end experience.
Yeah.
All the way from silicon vendors to device manufacturers
To Intune, to updates, it's everything.
Through the whole stack. And so
That's security. It's got to be comprehensive. You can't just do a piece because the attacker will go to the piece you didn't do.
Yeah.
And so almost everything we do that is meaningful takes a village.
Yeah.
And that's really important, I think, for all of us to absorb.
You made this point about connecting the feedback to action, right? And so we'd be remiss not talking about like the feedback app in Windows. I mean, the amount of raw feedback that we get from folks, or our insider programs where folks can try out what it is that we're doing early and provide us that feedback. Every single one of those pieces of feedback is triaged by engineers.
Yeah.
Right? Like tools that sort of slice and dice it.
Actually goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
It actually goes in and a bug is logged. I mean, it's a real thing.
We had somebody tell us through that app how there was different policies that they configure that conflict with each other that are making devices not update. And so we took that feedback and were able to go work with the folks that do our security baseline toolkits and create an update baseline that basically provides a 3-click way to sort of make sure that your policies are set down so that updates are flowing properly, right? And so it's that type of feedback loop that translate into actual like dev code that then goes out really, really quickly.
The more we get people in there, the more actionable the problem becomes for the engineers at Microsoft, and the faster we can fix things. So it's remarkable to see people, they'll sort of mention a problem to you and you say, oh, use the feedback tool. All of a sudden the problem is fixed and they're like, mind is blown. They're like, you could do that? It's like, absolutely. So we've got to spread the word amongst the customers, IT pros. Feedback tool just makes it so much easier for us to do the thing we want to do, which is make the product better.
You made a point on simplicity, David. I cannot emphasize how important it is for IT pros, given the complexity of things they deal with. I'd like to talk about a feature that we thought was an improvement, but it has had such an amazing response, since a few days that I talked about it at Twitter. It's all about simplicity. Settings catalog, for instance, we've traditionally always allowed configuration of Windows devices, settings, right? And we thought we'd provide these templates, which are a scenario-based collection of these settings. IT pros told us that they want the flexibility to actually pick any setting available in Windows and make it customizable to them. These templates didn't allow for some settings, and customers would have to use custom URIs, making it super complicated for them. We heard them loud and clear. We delivered a settings catalog as a result of it. And as I said, just amazing response for the simplicity we were able to add to the product to make it easy for IT pros.
We just talked quite a bit about scale and big numbers, but there's been no more powerful reminder than this year that we're all human. And all the big numbers in the world don't really reflect what an individual experience has. I think we often talk about products being a reflection of the people who build them. And this year's been a really powerful reminder of how do we think in sort of an individual's shoes through scale. And so I'd love to maybe sort of use that as a way to sort of lead into what probably my last question is about what's some human approaches? What are some of the things that you've thought sort of front and center for like the individual who's really going through this whole change around them and how they work and how they learn and how we really applied some lessons there at that level? I don't know, Dave, if you got some thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of us are living in the browser at this point, right? Whether you're sort of managing education, doing what you need to do, and we're all simultaneously working. That's 2021 in a nutshell, 2020. And we have to remember that there are humans at the center of all of these kind of browsing sessions. And one of the interesting security features that we've built into Microsoft Edge is the ability to simply let your fellow users know about a piece of malware, right? And so we've had for a long time this download protection. And what actually happens behind the scenes is we use the voting power of the browser for someone to say, this app doesn't look right, or this did something to my machine, or this site asked me for my credit card and that's not what I was looking for, to let other users know across the globe almost instantaneously that this is a problematic site. And so Edge's ability to kind of harness this crowdsourced signal, send it up to the cloud, make sure it's verified, that it's accurate, and then push that out immediately, we're actually all working together to keep each other safe, right? So when we all have a family member or a grandparent who said, hey, I'm worried about this site. We've actually turned that around. And so instead of you having to redirect that everywhere, you can now just in the Edge app say, this looks bad. That signal immediately goes to the cloud and it's pushed out to everyone. So we're actually all part of this sort of global network shielding each other. And it's kind of cool to think about that. That's something sort of connecting all of us. Even when we feel a little bit distant, we're able to at least help each other out. And Edge did a really incredible thing making that possible.
And I'll add on to what David said. For Edge and with people working from home, we have a whole bunch of end users who have unmanaged devices. These are their home PCs that they're using for work. And with Edge being one of the most secure browsers for enterprises, we are enabling configuration policies to be applied to Edge even when the device is unmanaged, enabling users to log in to their corporate accounts on the Edge browsers by simply switching profiles and not requiring management of that device.
That is a great example. I live that every day. I mean, those unmanaged devices have gone from being something that people use occasionally, something they're using almost all the time to do a whole variety of things, get work done, get into their school accounts.
Yeah.
And so, just those lessons, porting over, it's super salient for me. Sorry, Gabe.
Yeah, we one of the things that we've really been like really obsessing about is the, when you have to take, updates. Again, I'm the person that, helps work through the updates.
And we love that, Gabe.
Yeah, I kind of want to connect it that like the experience of how you go about doing that and making sure that people are in control, or you're making sure that you're doing that at a time when it isn't disrupting them.
Yeah.
It's a really big challenge because everyone uses their PCs in different ways. And so the couple areas that we do that is we're constantly sort of innovating and tweaking around what the experience is that once there is something that's sort of ready to go on a machine, like it all kind of happens behind the scenes, but you want to engage the person in a way that is empathetic to the fact that we do not want to impact productivity.
Yeah.
Because when folks are doing things, when they're browsing the web or they're creating a document or they're, building a banner in Photoshop, whatever it happens to be, that impact to productivity at a time when you're not expecting it is such a big deal. And so we spend a lot of time really focusing on that. And for, connecting that back to IT pros, we've been working really closely with endpoint management, configuration manager, Intune, whatnot, such that the experience, we're bringing that experience that we've evolved over many years in that continued innovation to the employee machine. So it isn't like some custom thing that's being popped up by an agent that's running on the machine, but rather it ties deeply in and it orchestrates across all the, like Office is updating and OneDrive is syncing. Yep. And when, there's all these different things that are going down. And so we've been working really closely across all of our partners in the company to orchestrate that well.
We love updates.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad for being on the update team because it's actually, I think, really important to emphasize all of the innovation that so many teams here are building for customers. If we can't update in a way that's easy and fast and transparent, then we can't reach those customers. And, I imagine how much IT pros have relied upon the abilities to get the right apps, the right settings, the right configurations down to PCs at scale this year. All the technology you've built and learned from consumers, I think you've really been put to the test in so many ways in the last couple of months.
Can we all take a moment too and recognize, I already loved IT pros, but now that I've had to do more IT myself at home, these people are amazing, right? I'm trying to bring up machines and get some storage here or there. And if anything, I want to go back to Microsoft, get in Office and fix more of these features because I would love, we say sort of take for granted what these people are able to do for us, right? And the small taste of things I've had to do myself, I'm more motivated than ever to give IT pros what they need because we need them, right? And more than ever.
It's funny you say that because Quick Assist, this core feature in Windows has become my best friend this year because I have become the, go-to.
You're the IT pro for your friends and
family.
Totally, and I'm not doing a great job at it. And so to your point, wow, it's just been remarkable.
Yep.
You really realize the importance of our relationship and what they do.
Absolutely.
He had the word, he said superheroes. They really are.
Totally. Thank you all. This has been super fun. I think it's a great place to put a pin in the conversation. To go deeper into the capabilities and innovations we discussed today, check out the link below for a list of all the great demos, deep dives, live expert Q&As, and digital learning available. To all watching, thank you for joining us. And thank you for everything you do to make Windows a great platform for people around the world. Windows is the heartbeat of modern work, modern life, modern learning, and we're excited to have the opportunity to continue to partner with you, our IT pro and dev community, as we work to build and innovate around Windows together. Thanks for everything you do.